Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with the big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch all your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm a tiny animal heading to camp for the very first time. My name's Chris.
And this morning, we watched Summer Camp Island. I want to stay with you on Summer Camp Island.
Yeah, this was for your birthday. Happy.
It was.
What's now a very late birthday to you.
Very belated birthday. Very belated.
It is now 2 weeks after your birthday. So, how was it? Was it good?
It was. It was fun. It was just a nice, relaxing birthday where I watched a lot of wholesome videos on video games that are going to come out soon.
Nice.
Surprisingly.
That's how you spent your entire birthday, huh?
That's how we spent like 4 hours of it, was just like going video after video, because it was also like an E3-ish weekend. Like, I don't think E3 happened, but a lot of other video game conferences did, like mini ones.
E3 did not happen, sir. E3 is dead as a doornail.
That's fine. But the point is that a lot of other expos happened, or like mini ones. And one of them was this wholesome video games, which was wonderful. And it was basically like watching an NPR show talking about video games, because everyone was so chill and calm and relaxed. And so were the games, and it just looked really nice.
You'll have to send me some of those. That sounds like a delightful time.
It was.
Speaking of delightful things, let's talk about this show.
So Summer Camp Island aired from 2018 to present, still going for one more season. Created by Julia Pott, produced by Cartoon Network Studios, ran so far for 5 seasons, 100 episodes. Originally aired on Cartoon Network from 2018 to 2019, and then HBO Max from 2020 to present. Set in a world of anthropomorphic animals, Summer Camp Island follows 2 childhood best friends, Oscar Peltzer, an elephant, and Hedgehog, who were dropped off at a magical summer camp.
Yeah, I like how Oscar's the name of the elephant, and then Hedgehog is Hedgehog's name. That's
just named Hedgehog.
Yeah. Hedgehog is just Hedgehog. That's great. I love that. That kind of sums it up. It is a very magical little summer camp. Lots of monsters, lots of witchcraft and magic.
It's anything goes at this summer camp. Anything can be alive, even the marshmallows. And you're not supposed to eat these marshmallows either.
They might eat you. They got teeth.
They do, especially that one. He was like the pack leader, I guess. Marshmallow pack. I don't know.
The one has big jagged teeth, and it's always biting you, but like, I think biting you with the ferocity of like just a slightly annoyed chihuahua might, like it doesn't draw blood. You just might have a few little indents in your finger for like, the next 30 seconds. So.
Yeah, it's like if you get one of those clips that you can, like a hair clip, I guess, and like put that on your finger. That's about the amount of pressure I imagine that bite gives you.
Yeah, as you would. I do it all the time.
Of course. Anyone who uses hair clips, you have to put it on your fingers.
Absolutely.
Who are some of the actors who played in this show?
Well, most of these actors have not done much else because most of them are extremely young. So I'm only going to name a few from the main cast. First of all, we've got Oscar, who was voiced by several actors. First, Elliott Smith for the first season, then Asher Bishop for a couple seasons, and then Antonio Raul Corbo for the last couple seasons that we've had. So not entirely sure why the switch up there, other than maybe voice changes. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe just needed to replace the actor. I don't know. Hedgehog was voiced by Una Lawrence. Max was voiced by Ramon Hamilton. Susie, who is the basically main camp counselor, was voiced by Julia Pott, who is the show creator, as you talked about earlier, and also the writer of 69 of the episodes. Nice. And then Pajamas, voiced by Naomi Hansen, who is the most adorable character in this entire show. And her voice, oh my goodness, this voice will melt your heart. When I said that this is a really young cast, like, that's not kidding. Like, Naomi sounds like maybe she's like 4 or 5, if that, when she's voicing Pajamas. So picture a lot of children, and that's a lot of the show. Is you're hearing a lot of actual children's voices, and they do an amazing job.
Yeah, and that really adds to the show in an interesting way, where it's like you're watching these little anthropomorphic kids, but they're actual kids, and their deliveries are, as a kid would. So it makes it feel very pure in that way.
Yeah, but when we say like they are delivered like a kid would, that's like delivered as a kid would if they were going through this in real life, because it doesn't feel like I'm trying to think of examples. So was it Kyle's little brother in South Park? They used
Ike, yeah.
yeah, they used a child for that. In those cases, you can tell they put a child in front of a microphone, told them to say a line, and there isn't like actual acting involved. It's just cute because it's a child's voice. But no, these little kids can act, and it feels believable in the scenes. And that's what really stands out to me about this show, and specifically this cast in the show, is it feels very genuine. And that was kind of mind-boggling for me.
Yeah, you probably owe it to the kids being talented, especially at such a young age, and also to what's got to be a really talented or really professional voice director to help walk them through how something needs to be delivered, because it is like on point. Nothing feels like, oh, this was delivered weirdly or anything. It all feels authentic, like you said.
Yeah, I love it.
And for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Summer Camp Island cereal, this series is the second Cartoon Network original series to be solely created by a woman, the first being Steven Universe, which was created by Rebecca Sugar.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can feel a little bit of there is some similarities I feel with this show and a few others. Just as far as wholesomeness, I was definitely feeling this in tandem with Steven Universe. Like it definitely shared that with it. There's a few others that I wanted to name too that it definitely reminded me of, which was, and I guess this is more from design perspective, which was Over the Garden Wall, and then also being Puppy Cat, as far as just the look of everything. Yeah, that definitely, there's a lot in common with those for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
I'd even say Adventure Time to a degree as well.
Yeah, which that's a good segue into my next point, which is Julie Pott, the creator, also wrote many of the episodes for the last few seasons of Adventure Time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So she chained directly off of that. Yep. Yeah. In January 2022, Julia Pott announced that production on the series had ended, and she is taking a break from the animation industry to focus on writing children's books. So, yeah, the last season has finished production, and I think will be airing in 2023. That'll be season 6 and the final season. So that'll end the show. And yeah, I guess she's going to focus on writing children's books now.
Well, that's cool. I mean, good for her. I mean, if that's what she wants to do, that's really cool. Sad that, the show's going to be over, but at least that means it sounds like she's ending it on her terms, which a lot of creators don't get that luxury of doing,
Right. She wasn't forced to pull it or anything.
Yeah, at least it's not getting canceled. She's getting to choose an ending, which that'll be good.
Yeah. Also, I found out that Julie Potts is literally 2 days younger than I am. She was born in 85. Her birthday is June 13th. And yeah, so her birthday just passed. So happy belated birthday to her, too.
Happy birthday. So yeah, what are we doing with our lives? Oh, man.
Clearly nothing.
Yeah.
We're talking about what other successful 37-year-olds are doing.
Yeah, we messed up somewhere.
Somewhere along the timeline.
We're going to start our new podcast, which is called People Our Age That Have Done Way Better Things Than Us, where we're just going to rate and critique everyone our age that's done way better things.
Or just call it, Where Did We Go Wrong?
Yeah, we'll try to pinpoint in our lives where we screwed up the most.
Yeah, by highlighting other 37-year-olds who have been way more successful. I like that.
Yeah,
It'll be sad, but also enlightening.
For sure.
The show premiered with a 48-hour marathon consisting of the first 20 episodes running over an entire weekend on both Cartoon Network and Boomerang.
Whoa.
Another 20 episodes premiered on June 23rd, 2019 as the second half of the first season. So yeah, they just dropped this show as a Cartoon Network marathon for 2 days straight.
That's crazy. I wonder why they made that decision to do that. That's cool, though.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'd never heard of anything being dropped like that, especially, I mean, at this point in time, yeah, we get seasons dropped on us in full so we can binge them. But it's just strange to me that it was on live television like that they just dropped it and just replayed it over and over again.
Feels like a really bold move to do that before you have an established audience already,
Yeah, because there had been a pilot episode prior to all of these. I haven't watched that one, but the animation supposedly was a little bit more raw and there wasn't a great response to it.
Okay.
But fortunately, like the series itself, like changed a lot of people's minds
Okay.
and
Great.
really brought the show, I guess into a more popular viewpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
4 additional seasons premiered exclusively on HBO Max at approximately 6-month intervals from June 2020 to December 2021. The series' 6th and final season is set to be released in 2023, which I talked about earlier.
Do we know why they made the switch to HBO Max? Did Cartoon Network drop them, or do you know the story there?
I don't know, and it's interesting in that there wasn't really a lapse in time. It just like almost went straight from Cartoon Network to HBO Max the following year. So I don't know if that was intentional or what the deal was there.
There has been a lot of Cartoon Network shows that appear on HBO Max, though. So
Yeah, I guess it does have a Cartoon Network hub at this point too.
yeah, they maybe that's, and I don't know this for sure. Maybe HBO is now like the parent company of Cartoon Network. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I not really thought about it, but I guess that would make sense with the shift of this. And since they have the hub on HBO Max of Cartoon Network, there's got to be some kind of like relationship there,
Right.
in whatever degree it is.
Because they also did it with Samurai Jack too, correct?
Was
we
it
watch-
HBO that the final season aired
I think
on?
so. I think that's where we watched Samurai Jack. And then we know Rick and Morty's on HBO Max.
Yeah, that's also where we watched Primal.
Yep. Yeah. So there's quite a few that have gravitated from Cartoon Network / Adult Swim into HBO Max.
Okay, so if anybody knows, like, please, like, reach out and tell us.
Yeah, there's something going on there. What's the conspiracy here? Help us out.
But it seems like a positive conspiracy. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like bad things are happening. So
No,
I don't know.
I
We'll
just
see.
want to get to the bottom of it.
So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The very first one being The First Day, Season 1, Episode 1, where Oscar and his best friend Hedgehog arrive at Summer Camp Island with the intent to do typical camp activities, only to discover that the camp counselors are witches and everything on the island is alive.
I like the introduction to these characters because of how much the script flips on these two from when you meet them to once they start getting established on the island, in the camp. Because like Oscar is, as they're on their way, Oscar, who is the elephant kid, he's very outgoing, keeps talking about how he's too fun. He seems really excitable, really energetic. And then Hedgehog, who is not really excited to be going here, she seems more introverted, more unsure of herself, not super confident. But then once they are on the island and things are revealed, like the parents leave and the counselor Susie is just like, finally. And then she casts a little spell and she doesn't look like a typical counselor anymore. She looks like a witch. And then all the monsters start coming out and they're like, we say monsters, but they're super friendly. Like these are all friendly monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Susie's she's a little rough around the edges, but in a funny kind of way as the head counselor / witch. And we see a complete shift for both of them where Hedgehog is now super excited because it's not a typical camp. She's now very interested in all of the things that could happen. But Oscar, not knowing what's going to happen next now, I guess not having an idea or a plan, now he starts experiencing a lot of anxiety. And we also learned that he has anxiety being away from his parents and everything like that. But
Yeah.
being around all of these strange people and not being able to know what to expect now leaves him so anxious that he wants to leave, which is something I can definitely relate to.
I think a big part of it is the way that they are both, the way that they both see structure. For Oscar, it is there's a level of comfort to it, and he loves to know ahead of time what to expect and how to prepare for it and to be ready for it. Whereas Hedgehog feels stifled by it, and her parents really reinforce structure, and she's got to be like this good at this thing, and like has to study and do all these different things. And so structure for her is not something that she wants to go and have more of, which is what she's expecting from this camp.
Yeah.
So being that they both have this free reign now to do what they want scares Oscar, but helps Hedgehog feel more free.
Exactly. So right away, Hedgehog is making friends, just really enjoying everything. And Oscar is already kind of shutting himself into his cabin, not wanting to get involved in anything and trying to recreate or like establish a sense of control over his situation where he convinces Hedgehog to have a sleepover party at his cabin. And he's trying to do it in a sense of just her coming over, because this is something they do at home, is just have these little sleepover parties themselves. But like everyone shows up, like one by one, all these other people show up, these different monsters, even the marshmallows show up, the ones with teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like, I got to say too, because we meet so many little creatures and stuff in here. I loved the monster under the bed, which was like a ghost looking thing. And he's just drawing a map. He lives under Hedgehog's bed. And she's like, oh yeah, he's drawing me a map of the island, and he's just like, just the hot spots.
Right.
And that was voiced by Alfred Molina, who was Doc Ock in the
Oh,
Spider-Man
nice.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting voices here. Like the Moon is voiced by Cedric the Entertainer.
Yes.
And yeah, Whoopi Goldberg is she's not in any of the episodes we watched, but she's in some of the future episodes. Like they have a lot of like star cameos throughout this show. Yeah.
Did Cedric, or maybe it was someone else, voice the shark as well? Somebody voiced
I don't think that was
the shark.
Yeah, someone voiced the shark, but it wasn't him. Okay. I'm not sure who. But yeah, so the shark, speaking of, is where Oscar finds his out. Like he's overwhelmed by this party where too many people have come. He even says like he prefers to keep it either two or less. So a party with Hedgehog or just alone. Yeah. So having all these people here, especially new people he doesn't know, he feels very uncomfortable. The shark gives him the shark who's in this pool right outside of his cabin, gives him a chance to go home. Like, but if he does this, if he chooses to go home, then he has to stay there. He can't come back. So he's like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm too like scared. So he goes down there. He reaches the door and then hears his parents talking about how, you know, Oscar is uncomfortable around like new things, but he'll settle into it if he just gives it a chance. And that's when it hits him that he just isn't giving it, he hasn't given it a chance yet. So he needs to go back and like, you know, toughen up a little bit, or just like at least like try to have fun or try to enjoy himself. And he makes it through that door. He hits it on the way there, but he makes it before it closes on him. So he's able to come back out. And that's when he finds out also that his pajamas are able to talk to him now. Yes. And that's, like you were saying earlier, she is the sweetest character. And I love her so much.
Just so innocent. This is another one of those shows where it's just constant random things happen, but it makes sense in the context of the world.
Right.
Somehow.
Exactly. Like it's like a loose structure to it. It's going to get you to a point, but you're going to go kind of all over the place getting there.
The shark was voiced by Richard Kind.
Okay.
That was the shark. I do really like Richard Kind a lot. He's a very funny guy. He's Marty in Big Mouth, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, and when he gets back, Hedgehog is was really upset because she thought that he had left, and she's really excited when he comes back. And she had made a present for him. She had made some was it like oven mitts?
Yeah, like best friend oven mitts.
Yeah, which is super cute. And so yeah, now he's ready to give it a chance. So
what was special about the oven mitts, is because that's what Oscar was expecting to do when he went to summer camp, is make things like oven mitts. I think he had mentioned that specifically earlier. So that was her way of kind of softly welcoming him into this new world by giving him something he's familiar with.
Yeah, trying to bridge that gap and give him something familiar, give him something grounding to help him out and help him adjust and everything, and also letting him know that, like, you know, hey, yeah, it's weird, but like we're doing this together and it's going to be fun, you know? So it was great. It was a great first episode.
Yeah, which gives you a great introduction to the characters, especially the main three, if you count Susie, and then some of the side characters as well, which they really go into a lot of different episodes specifically about or involved in these side characters. So everyone kind of gets their fair share of screen time eventually.
That's awesome.
The second episode we watched for today's show is Pajimjams. I always say pajamas instead of pajamas. But I don't know which is right. I don't even know, honestly. Like, what do people normally say? pajamas or pajamas?
I think it depends on what part of the country you're from.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, does anyone out there say pajamas? Or I don't know.
Bahamas.
Bahamas. I was thinking Bahamas too for a second. Then I was like, no, that's too stupid to say. But then you said it, so
I said it.
So now we got to
had
live with that.
So, Pajimjams, season 1, episode 5, which was recommended by me because I've seen this episode probably more than 10 times. Like, these are short episodes. They're like 12 minutes. But I love this episode so much. So anytime I introduce somebody to this show, I have to show them this episode. And sometimes when I'm just like relaxing and want to watch something before I go to sleep, I'll just put this on. It's just such a nice, funny episode that focuses completely on Pajamas, who's like my favorite character of this show. So, of course, I have to have it on repeat.
Makes sense.
So in this one, Oscar pretends to be a talking pair of pajamas named Pajimjams to make his friend Pajamas happy. But when Oscar gets tired of pretending to be Pajimjams, he, Hedgehog, and Max go on an adventure to find the ingredients for a potion that can bring Pajimjams to life.
I love the ingredients of that potion. It was so funny.
I'm trying to remember them. It was like a Yeti eyelash, a
mountain's life savings.
Yeah, this feels wrong.
Yeah, that was great. They go to collect the life savings from the mountain, and they're pulling just like a single coin out of their wallet, and the mountain's like, this feels wrong. And then They
gives him an IOU.
Yeah, they gave him a little piece of paper that just says IOU, and they're like, IOU? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's much better. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good.
There was like backwash or spit from a unicorn eating cereal or something. I can't remember what that one was. Yeah. And then the tears of a sneezing goose.
Yes.
Yeah. And then something from the convenience tree. Yeah. Which is a convenience store centered around the large tree, basically.
Yep. I think they got gum from the convenience tree.
Yeah.
I think that's
just
all
gum.
She was just like, hey, can I get some gum? Yeah.
The special thing about this episode is the moments. Pajamas has so many like memorable lines here or just fun moments. So Pajimjams is just this like flailing like purple pajamas like set or just pajama shirt that's stuck in a tree, and Pajamas sees it from the bedroom or from the cabin that she's stuck in and asks Oscar to go get it. And then she is talking to it like it's alive. So Oscar tries to like play as Pajimjams this whole time. And like the intro said, and has convinced himself that he is an amazing actor who has convinced Pajamas that he is Pajimjams, and so has to continue this to keep Pajamas happy, because she keeps going into bouts of like feeling like she is not good enough or like that Pajimjams is bored of her. And those are some really like sad moments here. Like this is like that kid acting like very professionally, because you believe it. You believe that sadness.
Yeah, absolutely. It breaks your heart every time like she starts crying or something, because because Pajimjams is not alive like Pajamas is. So whenever like he leaves the cabin and Pajimjams just lays there because it's just a top, then Pajamas has like this crisis of, my friend isn't talking to me anymore. It's like they're ignoring me for hours on end, and just starts freaking out and gets so upset, and you just feel so awful. So Oscar has to commit to this thing 24/7, and even to the point at one point where like they go camping and Oscar's just trying to go to sleep, and Pajamas, I guess, I don't know if Pajamas actually sleeps, because when Oscar tries to sleep, and he's like, okay, let's get everyone to sleep, she's like, no, we don't sleep.
I'm not tired. Yeah.
So he has to stay up all night pretending to be Pajimjams. Oh God, he's so worn out.
I showed him cereal. Nothing. I read him your mom's letters. Nothing. It's just, and then when Oscar goes out to play with Pajamas outside, and one of the things that she does is wedding.
The wedding game.
Basically, the wedding game. Basically, everything that Pajamas is doing is stuff she's seen on TV, and is just kind of conglomerating it together in what she assumes is fun, because she's never really gone outside much. And so they throw a fake wedding where Oscar has to pick up one of the larger monsters, and carry him over the threshold, which at this point is just like a stick on the ground. Seeing Oscar struggle to get this monster over this stick, and then as he reaches it, Pajama's like picks it up and throws it further.
Yeah.
And Oscar's about to collapse. Then he has to do some rock climbing, as Pajimjams. And he has to sing happy birthday to the rocks that are up there because it's one of their birthdays. And he falls down. It's just like one comedic thing after another. Oh, when they go to the cafeteria too, like that's so good.
That's right.
When she's talking about like, this is where tater tots live. We're hunting tater tots. And then they go to like get tater tots from the lunch monster, who is, basically the lunch lady of this cafeteria. And as they go to do it, it chases them off. And, Pajamas is having a great time just laughing as they're running. So, yeah, it's just a fun, like, wholesome episode of showing Pajamas a good time by Oscar pretending that Pajimjams is alive.
Yeah. And so, yeah, all the things that he's doing, he's got Pajimjams kind of like, he's not wearing Pajimjams. He just has Pajimjams draped over his chest and arms for everything he does. And that's how he's acting, / trying to convince Pajamas that it really is Pajimjams doing everything. So once they get to the convenience tree that is collecting the very last of the ingredients for this spell that they're going to use to actually bring Pajimjams to life, so Oscar can, live and not die of exhaustion. And when they finally get the last ingredient, they're in a boat on a river, and he's just like, yay, and then accidentally throws Pajimjams into the river and it floats away. And that honestly had me laughing because I was just thinking in my head, oh my God, what if this is just how it all ends? Like, what if it just gets torn up in the water? And it almost does go that way. Oh man, they go over a waterfall and everything. And we do get the scene where Pajamas has Pajimjams on the little bed of the river bank afterwards, and is like pleading with Pajimjams to come back to life and everything.
You're too lovely for this world.
Yeah. But then the others are like, oh, we know CPR, and they just dump the potion on it.
Yeah, CPR.
But the best part is when Pajimjams comes to life, he's just this garbage dude. He's just like, oh, hey, thanks, man.
Yo. Yeah.
They're like,
Pajimjams out. Yeah. And it turns out that Pajimjams was Susie's set of pajamas that she put like a silencing spell on or something because they got in an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he ends up at the end, like he ends up going back to Susie. He has like a partial apology, and she accepts him back in, and then they sit on the couch together eating popcorn and watching Gander High.
And the climax of this whole thing, like the big joke of it all, was that Pajamas knew Pajimjams wasn't alive the whole time. Because when Pajimjams does become live again and starts talking like that, Pajamas was like, I like it better when you do it. And Oscar's like, what? You knew?
He's like, you didn't know I knew?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's
poor
good.
Oscar.
Seriously, always getting the short end of the stick. But I just love this episode so much. There are more moments to it than even the ones I've described, which you just got to watch it. It's so good.
For sure.
So the last one we watched for today's show was Oscar. Well, okay, so this was the highest rated, but it was part 3 of a little like mini trilogy in there. Oscar and the Monsters, Chapter 3, Witch's Brew, Season 5, episode 12. And like I said, this was the highest rated, where Mortimer and the monsters must figure out how to send Oscar back to his own time, but the only person they can help is the foe of monsters everywhere, a witch. Will they all be able to work together to get Oscar back to Hedgehog? Oh.
I like that. I don't know. Yeah. So 200 years ago, I guess monsters and witches weren't cool with each other.
Yeah, they were at odds with one another.
I do enjoy the nod here that Oscar is basically wearing the outfit from Where the Wild Things Are.
Totally. Yeah, that was exactly what I thought.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to get him back to his time. And the go-to is, for that kind of thing, is Professor Elliot, who is a witch. So at the school, nobody ever enrolls in her classes because they don't like witches. So she has nobody in her classes. So when they go in there, she's just kind of taken aback, like, oh, I didn't know I had any students this year. And she agrees to help if they help her. And what she needs is for them to make a cup of coffee, which at first I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But it's super involved because coffee is something specially made in this world. Like, you don't just make the coffee. Like, it's done with emotion magic, and emotion, they aren't allowed to use emotions anymore. And the reason that she even asked for this in the first place is because when Oscar's telling his story, he cries, and she's like, oh my gosh, are those tears? And I think that's how she knows, hey, this person has emotions. Maybe he can help. He can actually make real coffee. So emotions make the best cup of coffee. And what he has to do is he has to really pamper these beans, like the coffee beans. Like, he gives them spa treatments and sings to them and gives them massages and reads them books and all kinds of stuff. But then he still does have to grind them up, which he looks real sad and uncomfortable about.
And they kind of scream as they're getting grinded up just a little bit, where it's like, oh, man, I thought this was going a way different direction, but okay.
And then he's got to cry into the coffee, too.
Oh, yeah. That's the biggest part of it. Like, he has to cry into the coffee. Those are the emotions that are being added to it. Emotion magic, like you said, has been banned. That's what makes coffee good. Otherwise, it just tastes like normal coffee, I guess, which they don't care for. So she has to go to the, what's the head guy's name or his title? I can't remember.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. Yeah, she has to go to the Prime Minister who controls all these laws and convince him to allow them to do emotion magic again by sharing with him the best cup of coffee that he's had in a very long time. On the way there, though, like, it's hilarious. Like, she drinks through like most of the coffee that they're bringing, and she's just like bouncing all over the place. She is completely jacked on coffee.
She's so hyper.
So much so that when they get there to the Prime Minister's office, she's just literally like bouncing all over and goes into like a frenzy of like, oh, I need to clean something. I got to clean something. And it's up to Oscar to try to actually give the last little cup of coffee to the Prime Minister, which then the professor ends up accidentally knocking over and spilling it onto the Prime Minister and his assistant and everything. But in seeing his assistant like slip on the coffee and fall over, it makes him laugh, which is not something he'd done in a long time since he was so anti-emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sort of changes his mind and allows emotion magic to be a thing again. But the price for that is banning coffee forever.
Yeah. So they allow emotion again, but now coffee is banned.
Yeah. I like when they find out, they don't really like figure out exactly how to get Oscar back at first, but then he ends up sneezing or getting something in his nose, which it sounds like he got there in the first place by sniffing something that like sent him back in time. So sneezing and kind of clearing out that scent is what sent him back to his time. But everything has been changed since that's in the future. Well, not everything, but the big thing that has been changed is there's still no more coffee, because when he greets Hedgehog, he's like, it's just been a normal day of me getting coffee banned from the universe and something or something. And then she's like, she laughs and she's like, what's coffee? So it's just funny that carried over and like coffee is just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just over. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a terrible universe.
Seriously.
Ooh.
That's like the Simpsons episode where Homer thinks donuts don't exist in a certain universe, but then it starts raining donuts, sort of.
Oh, man. I would love if it would rain donuts, one, I would never get jacked like I'm working on. But I could mow the grass more often because it would stop like raining actual rain. And I could have so many yummy snacks as I do it. So that would be great.
Yeah, you would have to have like a bucket to collect donuts in.
Yeah, easy. That is no problem for me. I will put out the biggest bucket.
All the buckets.
All the buckets. Every bucket.
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to summer camp with Oscar and Hedgehog, and maybe see if they can learn some magic from Susie, befriend the moon, or bring us back one of those adorable Mogwai aliens, then find out what they thought of Summer Camp Island.
This cartoon was really fun, but it made me really sad because my parents keep sending me to camp without any witches or monsters, and every time I ask where they are, they make me read a Bible. I just want to hang out with witches.
This show is so adorable it hurts. but like in a good way. And then it's also strangely serious sometimes. Either way, I think we can all agree that Pajamas is the best character, and I would gladly give up my street cred to replace my outside clothes with her.
Yeah, would you wear talking clothes?
Maybe. I guess it depends on, are they that adorable, or do they start growing up with you?
Well, here's the thing. Pajimjams was not adorable. Pajimjams was not an adorable person.
So maybe they do grow with you. Oh man, I don't need somebody with like with problems. I don't need like clothes that has actual real world problems to talk to me.
Can you imagine what like your underwear, like the things that it would have to say? Oh
no, that would just be weird because it'd just be muffled all day.
Yeah,
no.
It's like as soon as you take your pants off, can you imagine the amount of complaints you're gonna get? That would be bad.
You were sweating so much today.
If it's complaining about sweat, that's the least of my problems.
But I think it would be a good notification of when you need to take a shower. It's like, dude,
that could be
kind of stinky.
Like, hey man, these yellow stains in the crux of my arms here. Yeah, you need to shower, sir, and maybe switch deodorants to a non-aluminum, please.
And please throw me in a washer.
Yeah, with all the bleach. So what are some of the things that you like about this show?
The animation for the show, while it's very simple, it really grew on me after a while. Once you get used to it, because it's not like, it's got a pretty like simple palette of colors too. So it's not overly complex, but it kind of fits the mood of the show anyway. So it really works for it.
Yeah, real pastels, like
yeah, definitely
kind of muted colors and lots of pastel colors.
Mm-hmm. And the characters all have like unique characteristics that set them apart, which you really start to see more as the series progresses. Like I was saying earlier, the humor itself is pretty subtle, sometimes pretty dry even. So there's not a lot of slapstick action going on here, but that calm, deliberate humor happens to be like a type I personally appreciate versus yelling obnoxiously for the sake of being loud, like in some cartoons. So it works for me.
Yeah, I think it's everything about the look of it is adorable. We touched on the color palette. Yeah, the character designs, like you said, it feels a little over the garden wall, being puppy cat, Adventure Time kind of feel to it. And I really like that. The writing's really silly and cute, lots of randomness, but once again, you either hit or miss with those things. And I think this one did it really well, pulled it off really well. Just feels real playful and fun. Like all the random stuff that happens is this silly little joke that you as the viewer are already in on and a part of. Since like nothing really gets extreme in this show from what I've seen. So it like for all the random things that happen, like nothing goes super crazy. You know, it's all palpable and it all still feels good and makes sense within the world and everything. So that's very enjoyable. And like I said at the top of the show, the voice acting stands out quite a bit because there's so many child actors, more child actors than adults in this show. And I think they all did an amazing job for sure. It was super impressive.
Definitely. And I also wanted to point out, which will be something you'll understand if you watch more of this, but I really appreciate the way that they portray feelings and LGBTQ plus and other such concepts in the forms of these anthropomorphic animals or other characters to send messages without making them too overt or like cramming them down your throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So an example I have is like with the gizmo-like aliens. And I say gizmo-like aliens because they are the brown and white, like mogwai-looking aliens.
Yeah.
Two of them, King and Puddle, who are both seen as male, even though they're essentially non-binary, end up getting married at one point, which was a very sweet episode and a nice nod towards gay marriage without overtly saying it.
Yeah.
Like, and no one like calls like a huge attention to it. It's just part of this world. It's happening. It's natural. No one's got any objections to it. I appreciated just how that flowed so well with the show and made it seem like a very natural part of this universe, which it is, and I appreciate that.
That's really cute. I like that also because, every once in a while you do get those moments where sometimes it feels like, and I guess it's an unfortunate part of just like some of the times and era that we live in, where sometimes it feels like some places maybe might throw like sort of almost like the token characters in there to stand out and to say, we filled this quota and we did that. Look at us. Hey, look at us over here. Look at us being representative and things. So
right.
It's refreshing to see a show that just has characters like that don't draw any extra attention to those things. Those characters just get to exist like any other normal character and do the exact same things that any other character does. And the preferences and things they have don't define them in any aspect. It's just a single part of what makes them up. So I think that's really cool. And I really do appreciate that. Not having watched that episode, that's really nice to hear.
Yeah. And it's what's great about it is like, to your point of, trying to reach for like brownie points or whatever. It's like, it's not even called gay marriage or anything like that. It's just marriage. And
exactly,
that's just part of the point,
Yes. I like that. I like that a lot. So any dislikes about the show?
Since I've seen so much of it, I haven't caught all the way up on season 5 yet, but I've seen all the rest of it. If anything, I'd say that some of the episodes do feel a little fillery, if that makes sense. Like, and what I mean by that is they don't seem to move the overall plot along or really change any of the characters in any sort of profound way. And not that every episode has to, I guess. So it's not a complaint as much as it is an observation. I still enjoy those episodes, but not as much as I do the ones that have, like, I guess, a larger point in the show.
Yeah, I can understand that. And yeah, we've definitely had some shows like that before where there are, maybe a majority of good episodes, but there are a handful of episodes that are just kind of there and just aren't really serving that much of a purpose to move the overall story anywhere. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it is what it is. For me, I think my only qualm would really be that this isn't necessarily, it's not really a dislike as much as an observation, and a personal one at that. I think I would need to be in the right mood to watch more of the show. And I don't mean that in like, oh, I'm not planning on watching it, because I am. I do want to watch more of this. I think it's super relaxing. It's really cute. I don't think it's the kind of show I would be able to pick up at any given time. Like other shows out there, like I think Regular Show, which we just did, so that's the one that's on my mind right now, is one of those ones where I feel like just about any mood, I could probably just pick that up, watch an episode or two in whatever mood I'm in. But I feel like this show is one of those moods where like I would watch it when I'm feeling really chill already, or just in a real cozy kind of mood. Otherwise, I don't think this is one that I would like immediately go to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get that. And it's true. And having seen as much of it as I have, it has been over the course of a couple years, because I do have to be in a certain mood to watch it. And I think, like you were saying with Regular Show, that's kind of runs the gamut of moods. So I can watch that and it kind of keeps me at a normal pace. Whereas this one, I kind of want to be in a chill mood to enhance that chillness with this one.
Right, exactly. It's almost like the same thing with like certain, there's certain like, let's say music albums, or I have a lot of playlists on Spotify that I create. And it's just like for certain moves or certain rhythms that I emotionally need to be in, I need to seek out specific playlists. So like, if I need to get pumped up or something for like a workout, I'm obviously not going to go for a chill hop lo-fi kind of thing. That's my, work sort of thing, or my relax sort of thing, and mellow out. So I think it's the same with this show. This would be like I'm ready to wind down and relax and just, feel kind of cozy, get a coffee, a tea or whatever, and just chill. So yeah, with that said though, like I don't think it is, I wouldn't count it as a dislike. It's just an observation, like a caveat to everything else, I think. So
totally. So what would you give this show overall?
Well, I feel like I've used this word quite a few times already, but it's probably the most adorable cartoon I've seen. It's cute, it's incredibly wholesome, and when the mood strikes, I'll gladly watch more of it. So with that said, I rated this cartoon 4.5 bowls of marshmallows with teeth cereal out of 5, and I honestly would recommend this show for all ages. I think young, old, I think you'll find something to appreciate about it.
Yeah, that really flows well into my thoughts on it as well. Especially, I like that you mentioned the music part, because this show is basically the visual equivalent of lo-fi chill beats.
Mm-hmm.
It's short, it's relaxing, and it's relatively simple, but it also radiates positive energy and translates awkward or difficult situations that we all encounter at times into snack-sized, digestible portions, making them easier to comprehend for kids and adults alike. So overall, I'd give Summer Camp Island 5 big bowls of Too Lovely for This World cereal out of 5, and highly recommend you give this adorable show a shot.
Yeah, I like that. Man, it does have that kind of lo-fi feel to it. And the music is really relaxing in this show too.
Everything about this show is really relaxing.
I know. I need
top
to
to
see
bottom.
I need to see if it has a playlist or something on Spotify and check that out. I bet it does.
Yes, I would love that.
Well, thank you for all your continued support through Patreon, Discord, Twitch, and leaving reviews. We're still climbing up those charts. I think last I saw, we were now number 5 on Good Pods for animation and manga, so we are moving up, which is super cool.
Nice.
We're almost in the top 20 for television shows, and we did break through the top 100 for leisure podcasts, which is super exciting. I think we're in the 80s there. So every rating, every time you share an episode, every listen we get is helping us out tremendously.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now under ice, so it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, we'll be watching
Rhapsody Street Kids, Believe in Santa, cursed to us by our editor, Jack, for our Christmas in July special.
Oh, man.
So,
I forgot that was coming.
Yeah, so Jack, when we did Christmas in July last year with the Christmas tree, Jack was the one that came up with that idea. And as our editor, he has demanded the right to do this again. And so this is what he's done. He also wanted me to read a statement for all of you. So this isn't me talking. This is from Jack, who says, I just wanted to let you guys know that I was planning on going easy this year and giving Joseph and Chris a choice on what movie to watch for this special. But Chris said during a live stream to give them the absolute worst I can find. So, yeah, they have nobody to blame but themselves.
I blame Chris.
I don't remember saying to give us the absolute worst, but I don't know. I probably did.
It feels like something you might have said in the heat of the moment.
I probably did. I probably dared him.
Yeah.
In fact, just knowing me, I probably double dog dared him because that sounds like something I would have done.
You poked the bear.
Yeah, I poked the fox in this one.
Yeah, there you go. You poked the fox.
Jack is a fox. I poked the fox. Yeah.
You know what's interesting, actually, is we recorded the last Christmas episode, the last Christmas in whenever, was it July also that we did that last one?
Yep.
When we were together, and again, we will be together in person when we record this one.
Yeah, so I think maybe we'll do something similar as we did last year, and maybe we'll put a video version on Patreon or something of our reactions.
Oh, the live react.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live react on Patreon for you Patreon supporters probably at the Twig level membership there, and to give you guys a little something fun for July. So
to watch us suffer.
Yeah, you can watch us suffer and you can laugh and point and all those things. So yeah, there you go.
Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.